Let me start by saying that the first thing I rolled out was transportation, our platform, because I think it's the most important thing to confront New Jersey challenge and opportunity. When I go to South Jersey and they talk about higher unemployment and they talk about lack of jobs, it's all tied to transportation infrastructure. All of those things are correlated with lack of New Jersey transit actually being efficient. I do know a thing about this. The largest microtransit system in the country now, was started under our administration in Jersey City when New Jersey Transit abandoned some of the poorer areas of Jersey City. We've done 2.5 million rides in the last 4 years, just to put in perspective. It is, bar none, the most successful one in the country. The largest bike share program we started. We're in the ferry business because we couldn't find an operator. It's a terrible thing, but we're in the business. The first ones to do Vision Zero, which is driving traffic-related fatalities down to zero. We're the first city in the country to accomplish it. We implemented in 2018. The governor just did it this year in the budget, is trying to do it. Like I said, we do a lot of things early and push in accomplishments. I tell that to you because I do think that I have familiarity with transportation and some experience that's really tangible for what I'm going to tell you. Last year, the governor put in place a surcharge on corporations that make more than $10 million in gross revenue and dedicated that funding to New Jersey Transit, and he was very proud of that. Okay? Said this is the first dedicated revenue to New Jersey Transit that we've ever had. It was a good thing. The genesis of that idea was our policy paper a year earlier. And that's not me saying it, it's New Jersey policy perspective would tell you that as well. They would tell you that the idea came from Stephen Fulop's gubernatorial transportation, which is good, okay? But they did it in a way that was typical of Trenton in many ways. It was kind of halfway. So they did it only for 5 years, okay? They did all this pain to get a vote on this tax for 5 years. Now, that's two problems, okay? The first is that you cannot bond against a revenue that's only 5 years. And you need to bond against a long-term revenue, because you need that money to upgrade your train stations, your bus stations, your buses, in order to make people feel good when they go into those places. Nobody's going to go to a place that feels like it's out of 1950 and not clean, right? You got to make it feel modern, that people feel like it's good, that the digital era works, that we're kind of in this place. And only doing it for 5 years doesn't allow them to do that. And the second thing is it's only 5 years, so you have to revisit the problem. Okay, I talk about kind of the first things I would do, and this is on the top of the list, to solve it in perpetuity so you could capitalize against that, because upgrading the stations is very important to how people feel about their transportation system. That's number one. Number two is the largest infrastructure project in the state of New Jersey right now is something that's happening in Jersey City, in Hudson County, actually. You all pay for it, actually. It's the turnpike widening over the extension on 14A, B, and C. Now that project is roughly $12 billion, okay? It's with a B, okay? It's a big project. It was originally touted as a way to alleviate the traffic going into the Holland Tunnel, because it gets very congested there in the morning. And it does get congested there in the morning. I live right by. And I've been opposed to it from the beginning, because if you take a step back and you think about it practically, it doesn't matter if you increase it to 25 lanes. The Holland Tunnel is still 2 lanes, right? So you're still coming into this bottleneck ultimately. It's not going to change. And so I talk all the time, and one of the first things I will do, and I'm totally incapable of doing it as the governor, is I would reallocate those dollars towards light rail expansion, particularly the Bergen and the Camden-Gloucester lines. Those two things are really vital, and the dollars will match that you could actually solve that right out of the gate. Third, I would tell you that the privatization of New Jersey Transit buses is a huge problem. Okay, so about 20 years ago, they started to contract out these buses to private vendors. And that's a problem because most times, well, all the time, transportation, with government operates transportation, it doesn't make money. It's kind of understood. It's not a money maker. It's a money loser, actually. But it's okay, because you get quality of life, you get mobility, you get economic development, you get all these other things. But it's not a business to make money. That's not what government does. But when New Jersey Transit contracts that out to a private operator, a private corporation has a different responsibility, right? They bid it because they're trying to make money. And if a route has problems, right, then what do? They try their best to figure out how to still make money with a tougher ridership or less ridership. So maybe they clean the buses less. Maybe they lengthen the time between pickups so it's a little bit less reliable. Maybe maintenance isn't as good, or cleanliness, as I said. So those things impact how you feel about the bus service, which ultimately will impact you not wanting to be a part of it, okay? And so, again, I think that huge differentiator that I could tell you here is 3 things. The 4th thing is I stand alone on the congestion pricing conversation. All of my competitors were in a different place on congestion pricing. Now, I'll tell you why. I could say something here that some of you might have a problem with, but the congestion pricing, how many of you followed that conversation in New York? Okay. If you polled it, if you polled people in New Jersey and you said, do you support congestion pricing or you don't support congestion pricing, what do you think of it? It was overwhelmingly people saying that they opposed it, okay? Bad idea, I don't like it. That's what it was. And that's why you had Phil Murphy saying it was a bad idea. And that's why Mikey Sherrill and Josh Gottheimer said it was a bad idea. And the other candidates didn't say anything because it was a poll where it was tested, and that's the politically easy thing to say. And I'm going to tell you that I really do believe that if you're going to change New Jersey, you got to be honest with people and have conversations and try to move people into a place based on logic and reason, whether you're an independent, Republican, or Democrat, on what's best for the state. At least make the argument. That's what leadership is about. If you take a step back and you think about congestion pricing beyond the emotional part of it, and you think about it anywhere else in the world, first, from an environmental standpoint, it's a no-brainer. From a mass transit investment standpoint, it's a no-brainer. From a health standpoint, it's a no-brainer. But even if you don't believe any of those, even if you say, I don't care about those things, you take a step back and you say, who drives their personal vehicle every day at 7 or 8 a.m. to Midtown Manhattan and then pays the $2,000 to park that personal vehicles per month every single month? Is that you? Is that a working person? Is that a regular person, or is that a wealthy person? Regular people take the bus. Regular people take the train. Regular people commute in carpools. That's how they do it, okay? And so when they're arguing to fight congestion pricing and they're leaving $100 million on the table, they're not fighting for you ultimately. Now this thing played out, and what ended up happening? I ended up being right in the sense that it worked great. You've seen mass transit increase. You've seen time and commuters decrease. The only thing that didn't work because they didn't take it was us getting the money. And I outline a whole plan on how we are going to get that money and leverage New York to get that, which we'll be able to do. But I tell you that part of the issue is that you got to be able to say that, hey, this is the right thing and leadership is about that. When people say that the changes in Jersey City happened coincidentally or because you're 4 miles from New York City, I always say the same thing. I say, we have been 4 miles from New York City for 250 years, okay? The last 10 years have changed because we are willing to push and say, no, this is a better idea and let's talk about it.
Vote for Steve on June 10th. He's working for all of us.